Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. This time I'm continuing the Bourne series, regrettably, with the Bourne Supremacy. This is a 2004 spy espionage thriller film directed by Paul Greengrass, and it stars Matt Damon, Franco Potente, Brian Cox, Julia Stiles, Carl Urban, Gabriel Mann, and Joan Allen. In this film, when a CIA operation to purchase classified Russian documents is blown by a rival agent, who then shows up in the sleepy seaside village where Bourne and Marie have been living, the pair run for their lives, and Bourne, who promised retaliation should anyone from his former life attempt contact, is forced to once again take up his life as a trained assassin to survive. So, what did I think of the Bourne Supremacy? Well, if you've seen my written review, you'd know I don't hate this film like I do the first, because the first, given all of the money behind it, and behind this one too, it seems to really squander it, if anything, and the fact that the first is considered this like action classic, along with the next two of these Bourne films, this one and Ultimatum, I don't see it in either of these. But this one is at least watchable. The plot is a bit more coherent. Um, the acting is a bit better, and overall I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. It's watchable. But let me get to the cast. um Matt Damon plays Jason Bourne. He is okay. That is the most I can say about his acting in these first two films. He's very robotic. That might be the point. There are some people online that say that he is fantastic. I really don't fucking see it. I've never really cared for Matt Damon in really anything. Even Good Will Hunting, I found him kind of boring in. Saving Private Ryan, another movie that employs this shaky cam style that I fucking hate. Um, but yeah, Franca Potente plays Marie Kreutz. They've had a life together. I wish she was in more of the movie, but this isn't a spoiler. It's literally listed on the back of the Blu-ray. She is killed, and he is out for revenge against whoever killed her, and to find out what the fuck's going on. She was one of the best parts of the first film, and is still one of the best parts of this film. Um, she seems like she's actually trying. Uh, Brian Cox plays Ward Abbott, the man who killed Chris Cooper's character in the first to stop the Treadstone project. Um, he's decent here. He does a better job than he does in the first. He still doesn't have a ton, that much of a character. It's just that he's kind of crooked. But he still does an alright job here. Julia Stiles plays Nikki Parsons. She's one of the technicians from the first movie. She gets bigger roles in this one, the next one, and Jason Bourne. Um, she's fine. I've never loved Julia Stiles. The last thing I saw her in that I was actually impressed by her was Orphan First Kill. Um, but even then, I don't think she was like fantastic. Um, she does all right here. Carl Urban plays Carol. He's the assassin that kills Bourne's girlfriend. He's barely in the movie. I love Carl Urban, but they squander him just like they did to Clive Owen in the first. Gabriel Mann as Danny Zorn works with Brian Cox's character. He's fine, and Joan Allen as Pamela Landy, basically a CIA person looking for Bourne. Um, I like Joan Allen. I think she's a good actress, and I think she does a pretty good job here. The acting really isn't my issue with the first two movies so far. I know there was somebody I replied to on Letterboxd, or who replied to my review, saying that my thoughts were theirs exactly, because the first film is just so slow. and people call it like this explosive action spectacle. The third film on the Blu-ray, Roger Ebert said mind-blowing action, and I'm just waiting for the mind-blowing action. Hopefully my head doesn't fucking blow up like it almost did watching the action scenes in this film. I've just got to get out of the way. The action in this film sucks. That doesn't mean the entire movie is a loss, but the action in this movie fucking sucks. It is horribly filmed. People talk about the chase scenes in these movies being some of the best car chases of all time, the foot chases. They are all edited to shit, meaning that the scene itself is not constructed in a way that makes it exciting, so they think that cutting every half a fucking second means that the movie will be better and more exciting, which it's not. It never works. It didn't work for Columbiana. It didn't work for Taken 2 and 3. It didn't work for Transporter 3. It didn't work for all these other movies. Why the fuck is it okay here? Other than people sucking Matt Damon's dick. Why? Why is it okay here? I want answers for why it's okay in these films. Because the action scenes in this, the fight between Matt Damon and I think the actor's name is Martin Shawka's character. Um, it's really the camera shakes a lot and it's cutting every half a second and you can't tell what's happening. When you can't tell what's happening in an action scene, it's a bad action scene. When you can actually tell that there is choreography, when you can tell that there is a fight happening and that people are getting hurt, then it's a good fight scene. In this scene where it's literally Bourne like with a newspaper like batting at this guy and they have to cut like 5 fucking times every time he hits the guy, maybe, just maybe, you should get a stunt double. If you're going to do this style of filming, which the style of filming is usually used for that. It's either used for people who don't have good enough choreography, so they have to hide it by shaking the camera so that people can't see what the fuck's going on, or they do it in order to hide stunt doubles actually performing choreography, which is not what's going on here. Matt Damon is doing his own thing, which, whatever. I don't care if he's doing his own stuff. If it doesn't look good, then don't do it. If you have to have a fight scene between these two characters, get in stunt people and film it a little less shaky. Maybe, I don't know, maybe have your actors try to do their own shit. I understand Matt Damon at this time was pretty big, so he was probably doing multiple movies at once. I don't know, I don't care, I don't like him, but it really comes off as super lazy here. And from what I've heard, the third movie does this. I don't know about the fourth one because the fourth one isn't directed by Greengrass, which I'm actually happy for. I think it's directed by Tony Gilroy, who's been the writer of these movies, I think, or one of them. Yeah, screenplay by Tony Gilroy. So hopefully the editing isn't as bad in those, but it really did feel like, again, Transporter 3, Taken 2 and 3, Columbiana style editing. Like Olivier Megaton bad. And even though I would watch Transporter 3 over this. I need to watch those movies again and review them again. But I don't remember hating Transporter 3, the action scenes, as much as these. At least this film doesn't have a ton, so it's not as horrible, but yeah. Anyway, the other things about the film, this is a revenge film. I really like revenge films. I like when it's done right. I don't think this is horribly done on the revenge standpoint, but one thing I will say about these films so far is that they kind of don't really have that much of endings. The ending of this film is a bit more exciting than the first, but then again, it's a car chase that is insanely shaky cam, and it just, oh god, my tooth looks fucked up. But it's insanely shaky cam and insanely quick cut edited, and it just really doesn't work for me. It doesn't get me going. It doesn't get me excited. Um, um, but I will say the plot seemed a bit more focused in this one, because in the last one it was like, oh, Bourne's going here, gotta go here, going there, and it seemed like a lot of techno babble that was going on in the CIA scenes. And here you can actually tell what the fuck they're saying, and there's like actual direction, it seems, to what they're saying. And also, Joan Allen is doing a better job here than Chris Cooper was in the last film, in basically the same role as her. But I mean, they were different titles, but in the same like thematic role. Um, but I I don't know, just something about these first two movies just doesn't really sit right with me. It just feels lazy, a lot of it. A lot of the conflict, which again, revenge, fine. I don't mind. I like revenge movies again. But that almost seems to take a back seat to Bourne finding out about his true identity. And I mean, you'd think that the movie called Bourne Identity would be about his identity, but they're based on the books, but whatever. Uh, but I don't know. Just there's really not much for me to say about this. It's the plot. It seems more focused, but it also goes from, oh, I'm gonna take down the people who killed my girlfriend, to I'm gonna take these people down for not telling me why Treadstone is still active, but it's not active. And he did this job in Berlin, but he can't remember, and you're supposed to think he didn't do it the whole time, and then, oh, twist, he did it. And it again, it's I like spy thrillers. It's not that I don't like spy thrillers. I really like and even love a lot of the James Bond films. This is meant to be competing with those. And even the ones from the time, fuck it. I know I'm gonna get shit for this. Die Another Day is a better film than Bourne Identity, for me, at least. Bourne Die Another Day didn't bore me to tears like Bourne Identity did. It didn't have as shittily shot action sequences. There were actually some pretty alright. There was like an alright car chase and some alright shootouts. The acting wasn't that bad in it. I will say Halle Berry wasn't great, but she wasn't given much of a character. Um, Sorry about that. I keep yawning. Uh, but Die Another Day was quite a bit more interesting than the first Bourne Identity, or first Bourne film, Bourne Identity. But and people were like, "Oh, Triple X and Bourne Identity are better," and people found better movies to watch because Die Another Day was such a disaster. And I'm like, I don't even hate Bourne. I don't even hate Die Another Day compared to the other Bond films. I still hate Spectre and No Time to Die more. But yeah, like this film, I don't know what to say. Maybe the next movie I'll have more to say, but there's really, it's usually these 6 out of 10 movies where I have barely anything to say, and that's because it's not really anything offensive other than the action scenes. It's not exactly an offensive movie to me. The first movie, it was offensive to me because of all the money spent. $60 million it cost again, which I assume was spent mostly on actors. But this film cost 75 million, and the next one cost 110. And I hope to God the action is a little better in the third one, because I'm starting to lose my patience with these movies. And with the cast change of Bourne not being in the fourth movie and it's being Jeremy Renner, I hope that I enjoy that one, because I do like Jeremy Renner, Rachel Weisz, Edward Norton, a lot of the cast in it. Joan Allen's also in it. But yeah, there's not much I can say about this. It's okay. It's inoffensive to me. Other than the action scenes, it's inoffensive. But yeah, that was my review of the Bourne Supremacy. If you've seen the film, let me know in the comments what you thought. Also, leave any recommendations down there, and movie reviewer next door out.